Good morning, YouTube. This is Rosemary. We're going to have some coffee talk. Okay, I had a friend write to me on Facebook. And by the way, if you want to Facebook me, just go to gastricRose. And I need to know that you know me from YouTube. And that's all. And I will Facebook you. I will friend you. Okay? Dear Rosemary, I would like to request a video from you on the topic of the phases of weight loss, from the excitement of beginning the journey to the euphoria that comes from seeing the numbers go down, the frustration of plateaus, and finally maintenance, where we discover the truth that it is in maintenance that the real work of weight loss journey begins, where the realization that this fight is forever, the good and the bad of that. I think I know what you're going to say, but I just love hearing you say it. Anyway, sincerely, a fan. She puts it on Facebook and she still signs it a fan, so I'm not going to mention her name. Okay. But thank you, my friend. I love the question. I hope I can answer it. For me, it's a little different. It's a little complicated. I didn't start out with knowing all of the rules. I didn't start out knowing those things, and so it's kind of I have to kind of go back just a little bit. I had done the Atkins diet for 3 years and got down to 147 pounds, which was wonderful, right? But I think I saw 147 for maybe 2 weeks on my honeymoon, and then I gained weight rapidly. And then I went to see a doctor. They suggested gastric bypass, la 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 la. You know the story. And so when I finally got gastric bypass, I was like, I remember the day I had gastric bypass. I remember the day they wheeled me into the emergency room. I had no doubts in my mind. I didn't ever feel like I didn't want the surgery. They told me that it was going to help me, and I was like, yes. Come on with it, you know. I should have had it a long time ago. So, but when I began to eat the cereals and the potatoes, the mashed potatoes, and the things that were not making me lose weight, and I was only losing maybe a pound a month, that was frustrating. That was very frustrating. I was only eating less than 1/4 of food, and yet my body wasn't changing at all. Even my sister noticed it. What's going on? You've had gastric bypass. You've been rerouted. And then not only that, I had my, where it's like the trail, he pinched it to where less food could go in, and so it was harder for me to eat. And so I just didn't understand what was going on with my body. Well, come to find out, okay, that I had my surgery 2004. I didn't start viewing YouTube till 2008, and I began to see Janie and Allison and Tom. And to make a long story short, I didn't come on till 2008, but I started viewing YouTube with my sister in 2007, I think it was. And I didn't see them until, I think Allison was the first one I saw. Or it was before. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is I started seeing that they were doing shakes and the way they were eating. And I was like, oh, okay. So I started finding out the rules, right? Little by little. They didn't call it the rule. I think the first person that ever I remember saying rules was Wendy, which was amazing, because I thought, oh, well, now there's a plan. There's something there's a guide I can go by, right? And so I have always been frustrated in this journey. The frustration doesn't ever stop, right? The plateaus, they were at the beginning for me, you know, at the very beginning. They were very frustrating. I'd get on the scale and I was like, are you serious? Why am I still at this number? So anyway, I really don't want to stay on that. But finally, maintenance, where it where the road meets, where the rubber meets the road, you know. I have talked about how I feel like maintenance is hell, and maintenance is a battle, and we can win this battle, and I am winning this battle. I can never say that I'm not a success, because coming from a body of literally almost 500 pounds, I actually feel light at 150. It's an amazing feeling to be at this number. I use the scale as a reminder that that what I'm doing is right or wrong. You know, it's a tool that I use. Do I think that I'll get to 130? Yes, I will. Why? Because I'm always going forward in my journey. I call it a journey. Some people say, I hate the word journey. Well, I don't. I like the word journey, because I can actually see a process happening for me. Every step I take is something new for me. I'm always finding ways to go further in my life, in my well-being, because I want to stay healthy. I want to live healthy. I want to be able to finally live the life that I've always wanted, and I'm doing that as I'm speaking, as I'm sitting here drinking my water and having my cup of coffee. If I have a cup of coffee, I have 23 ounce deal of water. I'm definitely going to have my water. I just started journaling. I'm starting to journal now, starting to really see what goes in my body. If there was a plan, you know, I wrote these things down. It's like making sure I make food food choices, right? You know, I'm going to try and, if I want something sweet, I'm going to try and tweak it for me. You know, the lowest calories, the lowest fats, the highest protein. That's what I want for my body. Exercise. I'm going to make sure that I push myself an hour every day, at least an hour. I try and go an hour and a half, but at least an hour. I remember Wendy one time having a conversation with me, and I thank you for that, Wendy. I will never forget that day, ever, in my whole entire life. I will never forget that. All she said to me was, she wasn't being rude. I kind of took it as rudeness at first, and she knows that. But she said, you know, because she asked me, well, what kind of exercise do you do? And I told her walking. She goes, well, do you think you could? And I told her 30 minutes, you know, or yeah, I think I told her 30 minutes. And she said, well, you think you could push yourself to do extra 15 minutes? And I thought, no, in my head. I started doing it. I started pushing myself. It's like that last bit of ketchup in the bottle. She made that finally go out, and I did it. And I liked it. And I liked the way my body was changing from it. I think not until I really added exercise did I start to really see the changes in my body. Because a lot of times for me, the scale has not shown me the changes. The scale just shows me a number. The exercise is what gives me the changes. I liked Black Candy's video the other day where she said she didn't see the scale move, but she's in a size 2 now. It did move, Candy. It did. Those changes happen because you did something. The scale doesn't tell us what we're doing, does it? I love it. You know, am I drinking plenty of water? Yes. I'm going past 80 ounces of water. And I write it down. Am I planning my meals? Yes, yes, yes. I think that is the biggest key, is to know what is going into your body and you're planning for it. I know a lot of us say, well, we have kids and we have work. Make time to plan. That's your time. You've got to give yourself that time. You've got to make yourself priority for this to work. That's number one. And, you know, I am an older person. I don't get very much sleep because I drink water all day. But I've tried that trying to get more sleep in my body is helped a little bit for me. Once you get older, you find out you don't sleep as much, restful sleep. And then support group. You know, my support group is YouTube. If you've got a support group, you need to go to it and be responsible for yourself, you know, because we work with the mind and the spirit, you know, of us. And it's got to come from someplace. So that support group, you got to be willing to take a few minutes to get progress going with your support. You know, I know it's time consuming. You know, YouTube is time consuming. Find those people that give you support. Find those people that motivate you. You need it. You need it on a daily basis. I have found that I need it on a daily basis. I really don't want to stay too long on this, and I am gonna tell you this, that I had to have surgery. I had 25 pounds removed and some ounces removed from my stomach, and I had to have that removed. It was a must. And I remember almost dying from it. And I remember fighting with death. I know you may not believe this, but I did. And I remember my body leaving, my spirit leaving my body, and I remember fighting with it. And I have to remember that for me, that if I want to continue this healthy lifestyle that I've created for myself, then I will fight to the end. I will fight to find happiness, to find that place that I've always wanted to be at. I will always continue to believe that I am a success, not because I came from over 400 pounds to 150, but because I walk and talk the talk. I may not be skinny. I'm far from being skinny. I'm far from being bony. But I'm healthy. And that's where I want it to be. And I will never, ever stop believing that happiness comes from being healthy. I hope I made some sense there. I want to leave you with this quote. Success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. If you love what you are doing, you will be successful. Love the choices you make. Love the fact that you have to have 64 ounces or more of water. Love the fact that you plan for yourself. I love you guys. I love you guys. And I hope and pray that these words become true to you when you are in maintenance. I love you guys, and I'll be back. Thank you for my question. Keep them coming. I love you guys. I can't say that enough. Bye for now.